wash my hands real quick.
Oh, you was behind me this whole time?
I actually got a piss.
Why not just have both of them so you can double pump? Okay. Some people don't realize you can double pump with that. Uh-oh. I was gonna say.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the daily purge, sanctioned by the order of the Fortnite Authority. All weapons have been authorized for use during the purge. Nothing is restricted. Vaulted weapons have been released. Mythics alive. Drop rates are extreme. This is not a game. This is purge. Mirego's time. You were never meant to escape. Victory is not given, it is taken. Commencing at the siren, any and all rules are thrown out of the window. For the next 12 hours, all combat is authorized. May God be with you all.
So I will be updating my settings for chapter 6 season 4. For brightness, I am turning that up to 115, mostly because it's like, okay, let's get all the pretty colors. Let's do everything right. Why don't we? Like, let's go ahead and do that. Colorblind mode, I'm keeping it as this because I'm not colorblind, but I do enjoy it, and I'm keeping this at 3. It to me it makes the guns color pop out more, and I do rather see that. Cause like let's say I'm flying in and I can right off the bat see the color of a gun. Okay, it's gray. Okay, it's green. It's blue. It's so on and so on basically. So I'd rather keep that on there. Like I can change it to others, but it dulls the color. And if we're gonna keep it on this one, your gray, blues, and greens they get more duller, while the purples and golds get much brighter. And I don't like. Yes, purple and gold does well. Legendary and epic. Yes, they do give out more damage input, and I'm guessing better fire rate and reload speed. But to me, it's like sure we can favor them, but for starter beginning game, why not just do all of it? So let's brighten it all up. So that's why I'd rather keep it on this. Motion blur, I do keep that off because who wants to sit there and see a blur go across the screen every time you move? That's stupid. Fortnite Battle Royale games are all about movement. Why would you turn that on? Let's be honest. Why turn it on? For the user interface, I do keep that on. Let's be honest, I don't even know what that is. I'm not even finna lie to you. I don't even know what that is. Oh, is it just for basic effects? So basically, like reactive or visual effects, basically. I think that's what this is for. Oh well, just leave it on if you wanna. If you like to see like all your effects. So like the new unicorns came out. What I do with them is basically they do have effects coming from the back of them, so just leave this on. So that's what I would do. Now, if we going down, show FPS. I do like to see my FPS frame per second, so that way I can see if it drops, if it goes up, so on and so on. And so far, I'm at 60 right now. And let's say I get into a game, I can go down to 30. I'm not finna do that. So I'm just gonna show my FPS, keep it at that. For the report performance stats, so far, this is always disabled. I always enable it, but it always refers back to being disabled. So I'm like, okay, leave it disabled. I'm not finna sit here and fight it. Leave it disabled. And that's just how these my video settings are. For my volume audio settings, I do have main at 50%. I probably could take it up back to 100, but let's be honest, sound effects are loud. Especially this season, sound effects are loud. And I do not want to sit here and keep listening to all the sound effects. Music, I do keep that off because I do stream, and most music into the item shop are copyrighted, so I don't sit there and listen to it. And I know there's a setting down below where I can turn it off, but the music, I no. Sometimes I just want to sit here and listen to my own music, and I can't do that when I got the music from the game sitting here blasting in my ears. For dialogue, have it at 0, voice chat 100, cinematic 60, and picture in picture 50. And those are staying exactly how they are. I'm not changing it. So if you want, it depends on how you like to play. If you like to listen to music, I do recommend going to this one because your sound effects, since they are loud this season, I do have them at 45, so that way it can at least tone it down some. For sound, 3D headphones, I wish I could change it, but it ain't gonna let me. Subtitles is mostly on because sometimes you like to see the bots interaction, so they talk sometimes. So it's like, why not just leave it on and let them talk? Now the visualized sound effects, that's for gunfire, footsteps, cars, people flying, all of that. Always leave it on. Always leave it on. I recommend it. Unless you want to be risky and watch your back 24/7 like you in Memphis, Tennessee. Always leave it on. Now for licensed audio, like I said, since I do stream, I do have it muted because copyright strikes. I'm not trying to deal with all of that. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to deal with all of that. For communications, voice chat, everybody, of course. So like I play with people, people want to talk to me. You can voice chat with me. I'm fine with that. I'm not some type of scary person that just sits there and be like, oh no, in order to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Like, sure, getting the subs, getting the followers are nice, but
to continue the video, go down below and smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share it with your family, friends, neighbors, the whole entire world, why don't you? Also, don't forget, leave your comments down below.
I'm not finna force people to do that. I rather that becomes y'all choice, so that way I'm fine, you're fine. That is how it is. And then for text chat, I'm guessing this is just for like the DMing people. It's fine. I don't touch it. I do filter mature language because some people are children on here. Like, let's be honest, you have children on here. You don't want to sit here and go into a voice chat or a text chat cursing at the kid. Like, no, you don't sit there and make them cry. Now we got the language and region. I am auto. So far it's better. I will go back over to NAEs, but I just keep it on auto. Honestly, I should more likely go back to NAEs. So let me do that. There we go. Alright, I'm back on NAEs. For the language, English, yes, I do know French. Yes, I do know Spanish, but I'd rather keep it in English because that's my primary language. For movement, I do have the toggle sprint on because if we're going to be honest, auto sprint, we're not turning that on. You automatic auto sprint when you look at the map, so I'm not finna sit there and turn it on or off. Auto open doors, leave that on. One biggest thing about this game I hate, doors, windows. The mantling, I hate completely. Let's just say that. So, leave it on. Mantling activation. As I say, I hate the mantling. So just jump. Just hold the jump. Hold it. We're fine. For hurdle, press the jump. We ain't even finna try to go back and forth with that. Just put it at that. If you hate it just as much as I do, there you go. Now for combat, hold the swap pick up, turn it off. Turn it off. You don't want to sit there and be like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. Before you shoot at me, let me pick up this weapon and swap it out first. Oh, hold up. No. Turn it off. Just turn it off. We ain't, nope. People ain't gonna stop shooting you just so you can pick up a weapon. Turn it off. Now for toggle targeting, honestly, I don't really use this. Let's be honest. I don't use it. Like, whatsoever. I don't use it. So I just leave it off. It might benefit putting it on, but so far I just leave it off. Now, marking danger, yes. Everyone uses this, so that so that way you can be like, oh, danger, danger, danger. People are over there. People are over there. Leave it on. Just leave it on. Now for auto pickup, it's the same as the hold to swap pickup. Run over a weapon, you automatically pick it up. Run over shields, automatically pick it up. People are not about to sit here and wait on you to pick up weapons. I'm sorry, but they're not. You more like can drop into a game, and if you sit there and just hold to pick up a weapon, or unless you want to spam your square button if you're on PlayStation, I think it's X on Xbox. But anyways, back to what I was saying. If you want to sit there and spam it, then okay. But I always do auto pickup because I just want to run over the weapon, pick it up. I'm not finna sit here and just waste my time on it. For a fire button, pump and dump isn't in the game unless you go to blitz. So we're not going to talk about this as much, but I always leave it on just because it's the pump and dump. Why not? Now for my preferred slots, I do have my first slot as an assault rifle and my second as a shotgun. Most people would swap these two, so your first slot would be shotgun and your second would be assault rifle. I keep it as AR and then shotgun because of muscle memory, and I don't feel like trying to retrain my muscle just be like, well, my brain to sit there and be like, oh, shotgun first and then AR. I just leave it AR, shotgun, SMG, utilities, and then consumables at the end. Always consumable at the end because you don't want to get into a fight and you got your weapons layout going like, oh, AR, minis, shotgun, something to throw, like let's say a lunch pad, and then an SMG. No, you're gonna get all discombobulated. You're gonna sit there and swap out to the AR, shoot at someone. Oh, they're broke. Okay, let's sit there and swap to my shotgun. But then you forgot you got healables in the second slot. So what you gonna do? Heal them to death? So basically, that's why I keep mine like this. But then for auto sort consumables to the right, I do leave that on. Like I said, keep them at the end. So that way you can just press L1 and swap right over to them. And then you can heal up as you doing what you're doing, like getting away, hiding, whatever. For building, I do have reset on, so I don't feel like turning it off. I haven't been in the builds game recently, but I don't feel like turning it off. Like, I'm not finna lie to you and say I do builds. No, I'm rusty on builds. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, I can build. I just choose not to. But I leave it all on just in case I decide to go back to building. Now for editing, this is for your build still. Just turn them on. Simple edit, turn it on. It makes life so much easier. Just leave it on. Okay, so for tips, you can leave them on. I prefer them off because I've been playing Fortnite since it first came out. I did take a 5-year break on it, and some things more likely have changed or not. I just leave tips on, off, because to me it's like, okay, it's muscle memory. I know where things are. I know what buttons I need to press and mash. If you are learning the game still, or you have new button layouts, then I would recommend turning it on. Now for extra game options, that's more creative mode. I really don't care too much about it. I'm sorry, I really don't. Do they even have creative mode still? I feel like they do. If they do, then just leave it on, I guess. For tap to search, I do have it on because I'm not finna hold nothing to search. Nope, just tap it, it opens, done, fine. Now low input, leave that on. I do recommend that. That way your latency is not, you're basically not running like a 1975 computer, let's be honest. You're not running like that. So for the maximum field of view and the minimum, I do have that at 75 and 105. I like to see everything. And then some things I don't like to see. I don't want to be all up on close on something. I don't want to be too far away from something. So I do have them there. Jam tracks, leave it on. That's all I have to say about that. Just leave it on. Just synchronize it. Just leave it on. Like I said, my whole entire thing is disabled because I do stream. So, but I do have them on for whenever I don't stream. I do want to listen to the music up inside the game. So I'm just leaving them on for that. Now for replays, I do leave them on so that way I can go back, look at where I went wrong, what I could have done, how good did I do, what did I do right. If someone is cheating, which in 99.9% of the chance in rank, people are cheating, they are teaming, leave it on. So that way you can report people and sit there and say, okay, y'all are cheating, y'all are teaming, we are not going to do this in these type of modes. If you want to do this, go to regulars. Leave it on. Energy saving, I'm going to say this as I always say, I hate it. It's nice when you walk away and there's no one there to play the game for you. Other than that, I hate it. I do have 15 minutes because it's like, even though I don't like it, you do like it, possibly. Just leave it at 15 minutes so that way you got the whole 15 minutes to go do whatever you want to do if you do take 15 minutes. But leave it on at 15 minutes. You can always turn it off, just go up to never, but leave it at 15 minutes. Now for game UI, I do have vertical on, of course. Like, you want to know what you're shooting at. You want to know where your bullet's going to go. Even though the bullet spread in this season sucks, you do want to know that your bullets are going towards the person you're trying to shoot. For ammo indicator, honestly, just leave it there. That way you know, oh, my ammo's getting low. I got to reload. Let me swap over to this weapon or that weapon. Just leave it on. Now the show spread and the recoil first person, leave it all on. Basically, just leave this top 5 on, and that way there won't be no issues. Mostly because every fight you get into, you want to know all the information. Now for damage numbers, I do have it cumulative. Like, I can do a list, but I don't like to see a lot of numbers just keep popping up on my screen showing like, oh, 75, 50, 25, like so on and so on. I don't want to keep seeing that. So I just do cumulative, like just let me know how much damage I do right off the bat. Oh, you did 200 damage. Oh, you did 125 damage. Like right then and there. You know that. So cumulative, done. Now the damage feedback, you can do hit only or do hidden icons. I rather do hit only because it's more like, okay, I see that what I'm doing is what I'm doing. I see that I'm hitting you. So I just want to know, am I hitting my shots or not? That's it. Hit only. So damage number scaling, I do have it at 125. Nope, I weren't trying to sit there and do it for the damage numbers. But I do have it at 125. But that's only because I do like to see my numbers at least. Like, I do want to know that I am hitting someone at the, like, I just want to know that I'm hitting someone, basically. I do want to know that the numbers are popping up and that I see it. So it's like, okay, can I swap over to SMG? Can I swap over to a shotgun? Do I have to get out of here? Just basically that. Now for my HUD scale, I do have it at 77% because I don't want it all in my face. I want some of it there, but I don't want it all in my face, basically taking up the whole screen. I'd rather have a bigger screen so that way I can see more. So that's why I do have it at 77%. Now, spectator count, if you like the little people watching you and you like to see that, keep it on. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it on. Now, quick bar buttons, leave it on. Square, R1, R1, L1, leave it on. Now, player health. Some people are daredevils out here. I will admit to that. Some people are, and they don't want to see their health bar. I'm the type of person that does. I like to know that I'm about to be one shot. I like to know that I'm about to get my butt dunked on. So I leave it on. Yes, I can admit, I don't pay attention to my health. I don't sit there and pick up medkits when I should have. I don't sit there and take shields when I should have. I will admit to that. But I would like to know that my health is there. For resources, leave it on. Basically, this is just every information you need. Resources and builds. Okay. Wood, steel, brick. Right there. You got 500 of it. Leave it on. Minimap. If you want to do some Call of Duty stuff, turn it off. If you don't, leave it on. I honestly don't know anyone who doesn't want it on, but I leave it on. That way it's more like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. This is where I need to go. Done. For a quick bar, leave it on. Like, just basically everything, just leave it on. Target info, quick bar, pick up loot stream, and also the map and backpack. Leave it on. Elimination feed, net bug, that you can turn off if you want to. That's up to you. But I basically leave everything on except this because I don't know if creative is in the game. I'm sorry, I don't keep up with that. I do have that off mostly because I don't go to it, so I don't know if it's in the game or not. For touch emotions, we're not even going to discuss this because unless you plan on an iPad, then sure. If you're not, or if you're not using like, what's that thing called? Eye tracker, we're really not finna worry about that. Keyboard and mouse, I'm not on PC. I am on the PlayStation, and I do use controllers, so I'm not about to get into keyboard and mouse. Mostly because of that. Like, if I do get into keyboard and mouse, I will do a video on that. But for right now, I'm not. So for my keyboard controls, like I said, I'm not on keyboard and mouse. I'm on controller. So we just gonna swap all the way over to controller. Now, for the important parts of this whole entire video. Controller settings. I do want to go ahead and change up my controller settings, mostly because sometimes I feel like it should be changed at least every season a little bit. So like inverted controls, leave them off. Like I said, inverted, leave them off. We don't even touch them. We're not even about to touch them. The auto run, I leave that off. Mostly because I'm already going to be auto running when I press the map. I don't have to sit here and mash my R3, L3 button just to auto run. So I leave it off. Build immediately. Builds. I do rather you build immediately instead of just sitting there trying to build and then end up getting dunked on by someone else. So just leave it on. Now for the edit hold time, I do have that at 0.1, and then for simple edit 0.2. For slide hold, I do have that at 0.1. Here, right here, if you look for the puppy, at 0.1, just because it's like, why bother trying to sit there and wait so long just to do this? Like, no, let's just do it as fast as we can and let's go. For reset, I do have it at both. Now, if they had a replay option in here, I would go over that, but I hate the replay. It needs to be reworked. Anyways, reset axis, both. For time-wise, I do have 0.1 because I'm not trying to waste a lot of time. Vibration, you are a devil if you turn on vibrations. You are a devil. I leave it off because I want to make sure, like, my aim right now is shitty. Let's be honest. My aim is shitty right now. But vibration will make that 4 times, 10 times worse. So, if I want better aim, let's just leave vibrations off and work on my aim. Then I'll be fine. Alright. Quick weapon, I do have it as customs. And that's mostly because I just want to replace weapons faster than I could. So, why not just do customs only since I have my weapon slot loadout and customs? Well, customize, basically. So for diamond delay, I do have that turned completely off. Mostly because, let's be honest, I don't even know what this is for. I feel like it's more just be like, hey, your weapons are doing what they're supposed to do, or not. I feel like turning it off is the better option. Because you don't want any delay in what you're doing in shooting or anything else. Now for toggle behavior, I do have it as none because I'm not going to sit here and just keep going back and forth with slot 2 or previously equipped. Yes, I did read the sides, but I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with them. Instant toggle, I do have it off, mostly because my toggle behavior is off. That's the only reason I have that off. For button groups, I do have it as both. You want directional and you want the action button groups, so why not just have both of them there? If you want to do it at different ones, then okay, you do you. But I'd rather keep them both on there just because to me it's far easier I want to say. Far easier. Now for sensitivity, this is where it all comes in at. I do have mine set to a 7. Mostly because I am going against PC players. PC players have theirs far lower because they own mouse and keyboard. Some PC players got theirs higher. Mine is at 7, so that way I can just turn around faster and flick on people faster. Like I said, my aim does suck right now. But when it gets better, flicking on people at a 7 will be far better. Yes, I can sit there and put it at a 6 and be fine, but I'd rather be faster on it all. Now for my build mode sensitivity, I just got a 2.1. I'm not finna take it up, not finna take it down. It's just standing at 2.1. Mostly because I don't, like I said, I don't play builds, so I just leave it at 2.1. And that's for both of them. Now for my first person mode, I do have it at 0.9. Some people do like to use a 1.1. I use 0.9 just because it always been like that. I haven't had a problem with it at that, so I just leave it there. For advanced options, I do. Okay, so with this one, I do turn it on. I also turn it off. It all depends, basically, like how I feel. Normally, I would just turn it on and leave it on because that's how I've been doing it. So if I'm be honest, it's going back on. Like you can turn it on, you can leave it off if you want to. That is up to you. I personally would like to just leave it on. Or is it? Yep, leave it on basically. That's what I do. For look sensitivity, I do have it at a 38 on horizontal and vertical. Yes, it can go up, but I kind of just like them here just because it's more like, well, I'm not trying to make it look like my head spin around my whole damn body and I got no dang neck. And then I'm not trying to sit there and point up to the sky and look up there as much as I can. Like, sure, it'll help with nowadays. Now you got the shockwave launcher and the revolver. Yes, that would help. But leave it at 38%. For the horizontal boost and vertical boost, 2%. I only say that because to me it's more like, okay, stick drift, all of that stuff. If you don't have that, just go ahead and leave it at 2%. Some people would take it down to 1 or take it up to 9. I leave mine at 2. For my ramp time, 0. Not even finna touch it. It's at 0. For my instant boost, I do have it turned off mostly because I'm not finna use it. Basically, like I said, I don't go into build matches. I should, but I don't. I just leave it off. Now for ADS sensitivity, I do have it at 8 and a 10. So horizontal at 8, vertical at 10, mostly because yes, you do want the speed to sit there and connect on people right away, but question is, are you guaranteed to like connect with the person? Are you guaranteed to it? Yes, we on controller and we do have the aim assist button, but if you looking up and down like at max speed, you basically ain't even trying to hit the person. You just hitting around them. Now for the boost, I do have it at 2% and a 3%. Normally they both would be at 2%, but I do have them at 2 and 3 mostly because I do want that slight boost from it. I don't want too much of it, just a slight. And then you have the ramp time, which goes down to 0 because I'm not trying to sit here and bother that. Scope speed multiplier is at 1. Honestly, I feel like it should go up. So that way you can 1 aim down sight faster and 2 so you can sit there and move around much more while you do it. But that's just me. Now the look dampening time, I do have it at a 0. Mostly I do have it at 0 just because why mess with it? So I do have it on linear mostly because on linear you put in more raw input into it. So my aim sucks because basically I feel like I'm getting worse at Fortnite. Could be true. But linear, I know that at least. I'm not going to do exponential because that's not full raw input. Raw input into a skills game based matchmaking and battle royale is basically saying, okay, how good are you at aiming? How good are you at hitting your shots? That's what this is for. The linear will tell you that. Now, for aim assist, always leave it at 100. Always. If you're on controllers, leave that at 100. If you want to be a complete devil, daredevil, if your name is Jesus himself, and you can always hit your shots, turn it down. But there's only one Jesus. So turn it down. Well, there's a lot. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off track. Leave it at 100. If you decide to go down, then by all means, you got my praise. But I leave it at 100. Now for this right here, the controller dead zone, if you have stick drift, turn it up. If you do not have stick drift, if you own a PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, well, DualSense Edge controller, and you can swap the modules out, leave it at this. 5%, 9%, and 25% on everything else. Mostly because, one, your stick drift on the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller is no longer there because you just swapped out the modules. Two, because you just don't have stick drift. So basically, if you do not have stick drift, which is a crucial thing on PlayStation, which they need to fix, or any other controller, just leave it at this if you don't have it. If you got a brand new controller, these are your controls you should use. If you do not have a controller and you do have stick drift, I would recommend taking this up at least to a 9. If not 9, then try going up higher to at least around at least a 15, and then you should be fine. Now for adaptive trigger, I always leave it on. I just like the feedback, especially on DualSense Edge controller. I do like I wish it was haptic, but adaptive trigger is just much better. Now for effects for press, I do have that off, mostly because I'm not trying to sit here and like mess with all of this. I'm not trying to mess with it. Now for the strength, I do have that up to an 8 just because of feedback wise, and then for starting position, I do have a 0 because you don't want to be all over the place. Vehicles accelerate with stick. Most people turn it off and just use L2 and L2 R2 just to accelerate or decelerate. I just have it on because my thumbs are mostly on my stick a lot. Tank. When I get a tank? Okay, whenever they decide to add a tank into the game, leave it on. It's just the camera. Just leave it on. Now for my presets, I do have it on Combat Pro because, as I do say, I do play like 0 builds. So I do like to keep mine at a Combat Pro. If I do go back to builders, like build mode, I will go over to Quick Builder or Builder Pro. But I do want to find a way to sit there and basically combine Combat Pro, Quick Builder, and Builder Pro into one. So that way it's like, oh, I can swap back and forth from each game mode and be fine. That's what I would like to do, but I honestly don't know how to do that right now. But for me, my crouching is, where is it? Oh, my crouching is R3, and since I do have the DualSense Edge controller, I do have the back buttons, and I did just map that to it. But if you don't, then I do have my crouching at R3, and my circle is my switching modes, basically. But that's in building wise. If I'm not building, then circle I just don't have. Now, account settings, we're not even going to touch this. Only thing you need to know about this is post party is on and recording is on. That's all I have. But that's about it. Those are my settings. I would say go in game, try them out yourself and see if you do like it. If you don't like it, just comment down below in the comment section and let me know what you think on it.